and then they cut to the most scarily real description of sports teams and how sports has gone down.
The funny thing
that
is,
there ever is.
This whole thing here
Mm-hmm.
kind of reminds me of scenes from Idiocracy, like a Mike Judge type thing.
Very much so, yeah.
Where, like, the decline of sports is happening now that players are allowed to move and switch cities.
They're constantly allowed to change, and they say some things where, like, you know, the Utah Jazz, or no, was it the I don't remember what St. Louis Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music.
Yeah, the New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah
where they don't allow music.
Where they don't allow music, and like Minneapolis moved to LA where there are no lakes.
And things like that, which is true. And then he mentions like something that is absolutely true nowadays, where he's like, the corporations are buying up all the stadiums.
So they're just giant billboards.
And it's true. Like, it was starting then, and now every single stadium is a corporation.
Happened here. We had the Skydome now.
We had the Skydome. Now it's the Rogers Center. I mean, I'll still call it the Skydome until the end of time, but, I mean...
Hell, we've gotten to the point,
yeah.
and this is so Homer, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. So if you're from Toronto, you know, but if you don't, you probably don't.
Sorry.
But the Scotiabank Arena.
Yeah.
was called the Air Canada Center, but people still want to call it the Air Canada Center, so people are so loyal to even corporate names.
Yeah. That we literally still, and I do it all the time, because I will not call it the Scotiabank Arena, even though that's what it's called, and it really doesn't matter, but I will still refer to it as the Air Canada Center or the ACC, because that's just what is ingrained in us for the last 20 years.
So we're gotten to the point where even a corporate thing is ingrained.
Yeah.
And we're mad when they change it to just another corporate thing.
Exactly.
I think that the scene with the football players, like, I played in, and then he lists, like, 9 different teams, including Toronto Argonauts. Which I love that you said the whole thing.
Yeah.
You didn't say Toronto, you said the Toronto Argonauts. Like, no one watches
because no one knows
CFL.
what the fuck that is. And then he's like, and a season as a greeter at the Desert Inn. And then he's just like, it's nice to be finally playing in the proud city of Miami. It's, Minneapolis. Whatever.
Who cares?
Shit. And then they go off on a whole thing about, like, the fact that celebration, even for the most minuscule of accomplishments, is now celebration that is longer than the game. And then they literally have a full, like, Riverdance dance number, because Riverdance was huge at that point, inexplicably. And yeah, they did that, and then they're like, and then
sit here and you disparage the good name of Michael Flatley, Lord of the Dance.
Hey, you have already besmirched the good damn name of Pamela Anderson. I am now free to insult whomever I want, be it Michael Flatley. Michael Flatley be damned.
How dare you, son of a bitch.
We've gone a little weird, and it kind of fits.
But yeah, it's a full dance number, and I think they're supposed to be the Cowboys, but it's like indescript football team.
Football team.
While they're doing their dance, including the referee. Mm-hmm. I love it because one of the opposing football players are being carted off the field.
Yeah.
By the other football players on the team.
Yeah. Well, my guess is that the doctors have joined the other team for the dance.
In their full-on rubber dance. Mm-hmm. And then I think the joke ends with, now they're mixing sports. So a baseball guy pitches to a football player.
It starts with that they're allowing, they're recruiting heavily from prisons.
Right.
And then, you know, a guy in a hockey team literally hits a guy in the head and knocks his head off.
Yeah,
and the goaltender actually saves it. And then that's when they try interleague play and then inter-sports play. The only way I would ever watch baseball is if this was true. So, you've got a football player in a baseball outfit, and no, it's not Bo Jackson.
Well, no, he's still in a football.
Yeah, he's still in his football gear.
But he's hitting the baseball.
And then he hits the ball, and then he just fucking runs full force and tackles the fuck out of the first baseman. If that was the case, I would watch baseball all day long.
And then it smash cuts to Coop pissing into a plant. Instead of being a sports star, he wants to open a sports bar.
Yes.
They're at this fancy party where they don't belong.
And he's like, why are we here? And he's like, dude, it's Brittany Kaiser's house, and I really, really want to fuck her. And then they cut to, of course, the door is open, and her father? Yep. I mean, he looks like a butler, but her father's standing there.
Dr. Kaiser.
Yeah.
Who gets a credit in the film.
Yeah.
He's in a scene.
And doesn't say anything.
And we never see him or Brittany again.
And this is where they start doing something that I did for a long time and still occasionally do, where He's just like, says, they say something like, why are you here? And he goes, well, that's funny. Have a beer, cock. And just under your breath refer to everyone as cock who insults you.
Although, wasn't the name of the beer cock?
No.
I could have sworn.
Well, it might have been.
Yeah, I think that was the joke.
But that is not, no, that wasn't the joke. Because they would just be like, because at one point in time, well, we'll get to it right now, with Skidmark Steve, no. Just putting that out there, that's not fucking happening. Like, oh my god, Skidmark Steve, you still hanging out and playing Nintendo? Well, if you must know, like, laying it on as thick as possible, like, I'm in my 3rd year of law school, and blah, 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 and he's just like...
And I'm training for the Olympics.
Yeah. What are you guys doing? Just hanging out, playing Nintendo. Cock. So that is literally them calling him cock every time.
And then I think it's just like, oh, it's crazy that we're still doing the same thing. He's like, I think he's like, as a positive...
You haven't changed. Oh, cool. No.
It's not. And then they go up to Brittany's room, what they think is Brittany's room, for a panty raid. Mm-hmm. Finds panties and a vibrator.
Dude. And he's like, oh my god, I'm so jealous of you. Turns it on, which I don't understand why.
And then starts filleting it.
Yeah.
And then she comes in and is like, what are you doing in my mother's room? And then he expends the panties to, like, ginormous...
size. And he's just like, oh god, and he throws it down. And I guess this is the only reason to turn it on. Matt drops it, and it just starts vibrating throughout the drawer, and he's trying to stop it, but he can't figure out how to turn it off. And then he throws it at her, and that's when he says derp and runs away.
So they go out to the backyard, where there's a basketball net. I'm like, no. I don't think so. I don't know. Would bougie people have a basketball net?
Actually, yeah.
Yeah. So they challenge 2 douchebags to a match, and they're just like, oh, how bad could it be? And then they start doing
it's like,
alley-oops and crossovers, and like, oh, shit.
Because he's just like, because he basically says, like, like, let's put some money on it, like $20. And he goes, well, how about 50? And then that's when they go and do this, and he goes, dude, we don't have $50. And he's like, we don't have 20. Like, one way or another, we're screwed.
So to even the playing field, they, on the spot...
Invent a game.
Mm-hmm. Slowly. Basically, I think just the basic understanding is that
the basic idea is like it's
basketball,
baseball
but
rules.
with baseball rules.
So you shoot it here, and the free throw line is a single. Over back here at the top of the key is a double. Back here is a triple, and behind a home run is behind the meatballs.
Yeah, there was a catering table.
There's a catering table, which I'm like, why is the catering table?
Bougie people.
Whatever. Yeah, but why is it there?
Why is it outside?
Yeah.
Well, there's a lot of people outside. There's a patio situation.
That's true.
That's like classy to get outside. I don't know.
And then they're just like, wait, what? And he goes, oh, we can explain it a little slower for you guys. You're not big sports guys. Meanwhile, they're literally just covering their own ass.
Then they go line up. He's like, this is a single, right? Okay.
Yeah. And then he goes to shoot, and Matt spits watermelon at him. Or no, spits his beer at him.
Yeah.
He goes, hey, you can't do that. You can't do that. He goes, no. That's how we play it in the hood. Because they learned it. They said they picked it up in the hood.
Yeah.
And it's like, I can do whatever I want to make you miss your shot. So that's 1 out. And then it just becomes a string of... Because, I think the next one, Matt says something, and it's just like, I fucked your sister, and the guy misses. And then it becomes a whole thing where they actually start doing well, because they know how to shoot, but they can't do anything else. And it comes down to the greatest psych out, I think, one of the greatest in the whole movie, where it's just he goes to shoot, and he goes... Oh my god, I think it's one of Brittany's mom's pubic hairs. And the guy fucking misses.
Oh.
He goes, dude, that was a sweet psych out. He goes, there's another one.
I do like, in this movie, several times when they're before they miss their shot, they just do a comic.
They
and
fall.
Like, why would
you... That becomes the thing of, like, showing that there was a psych out, is that you just flat out fall. Which is fine, I guess.
There's other rules of, like, if you miss, if the team gets the rebound,
well, yeah, because they basically...
It's a double play.
Yeah, he tips it in, he goes, it's a tip-in, it's a double play. Like, what? And he goes, double play, asshole. Like, just as if this was normal.
And then I think we find out that if they miss the tip-in, the team that initially shot can grab it, put it in, and convert what they originally shot for.
I think they figure that out later.
So they figure it out, and then it's like, they win the game.
They win, but then they still don't get the girls, which is one of my... past, there's a story about this movie, but I'll get to it later, but past and future guest on this show, Aaron, him and I used to constantly quote this next line to each other all the time as like, just, first you get the money, then you get the khakis, then you get the women. It was just, because at that time it was all about khakis. So that was basically what happened. Is they got nothing but because they didn't have the khakis, I guess.
So we cut. I think it's 3 months later. Mm-hmm. It's starting to grow a bit.
No, this one's the next day.
Is it the next day?
Mm-hmm. Because they're in the driveway during the day trying to figure out.
Oh, this is where Squeak comes in.
This is where Squeak becomes a thing, and and you can hear them coming up with it. It's like, well, we've got this little shot here. You can throw it in. It's not going to put anyone on base, but it keeps you alive. It's like a bunt. So they're working out the game, and this is when Squeak shows up,
working for the gas company,
being like, gentlemen, I'm here from this, and he's. The fuck? He's like, are you Joseph R. Cooper? He's like, cut the crap, Squeak. You know who I am. And he's just like, and he goes this whole thing about the dog, like, is your dog gone or whatever. And he goes, dude, he works for the fucking gas company now. Like, dude, doesn't it just suck to be you? They're just so mean to him. I love it.
Doesn't it suck to have a job?
Yeah.
Call him a little bitch or whatever. Mm-hmm. He's like, I'm not a little bitch.
Yeah, and then he goes in, and then, of course, the dog's still there, and he fucking jumps on him and then throws him over. The dog throws him over the fence.
Clear over the fence.
Yeah. And he's just like, what the fuck? You said the dog wasn't here. He goes, oh, right, the cat's appointment was today. The dog's tomorrow. Sorry, Squeak, honest mistake.
And you want to shoot for it?
He's like, you shoot for it. He goes, I don't want to shoot for it. I want to shut off your gas. This is my job, you asshole. And he's like, if you sink this putt, we won't, or this basket, we won't call you Squeak anymore. And he goes, or bitch. And then he throws it, and for some reason, a psych out is just naming the lead singer of Styx.
Steve Perry.
What?
I'm trying to be a girl. Like, that's the most play Steve Perry's ever gotten.
Pretty much. Wait, is that Styx or Journey?
Journey.
Sorry, Journey. My apologies.
Oh, no.
Because anybody knew that.
I'm sure there's one guy out there, hey, it's Journey! Yeah. You leave Styx alone. Oh, because Styx is Dennis DeYoung.
Right. Not anymore, though.
No, not anymore.
Not anymore.
No. He got sick of singing Mr. Roboto.
Mm-hmm. Wouldn't anyone?
So he just gets put on the team because he eventually gets fired.
Yeah, he gets fired because of it. Because he's just like, I can't believe they fired you. I can't believe they fired you for not shutting off our gas. Yeah, it was losing the truck that pissed him off the most. I want to know that story.
There's no story there.
I want to know that story. But yeah, he's living in there, and he's paying 1/12 of the utilities. They have 12 people living in that house. And then he's just like, here's your room. And he goes, oh, does this couch turn into a bed? Yeah, a really sweet bed. But that's Jenkins' bed. Here's yours. And it's a fucking
it's the dog bed.
It's like, dude, that is so weak. And then they have a
full thing. It's so fucked up. And then he opens the window. He's like, well, at least I'm on the team. Hey, I'm on a team.
And then the dog comes in and kills him again. Because that's what you do.
I'm surprised that joke ended there.
Yeah, it could have been worse.
Because in a parody movies like this, stupid jokes like that go all the way through the entire movie.
We should have had that dog chasing him around everywhere, and it never did.
Like, even in the end when they win, you could have been like, yeah, I'm the champ, dog.
Well, I think what they do, because the long con of it is just that Squeak is killed. Because his real name is Kenny.
Right.
Little South Park humor. He's constantly attacked to the point where he would be killed.
Right.
That's the long joke. Although I agree with you, the dog would have been a thing that you would think that they would bring back, but he's just killed or injured in many, many ways.
Yeah.
So then this is when we cut to 3 months later.
Yes, where BASEketball is catching on.
Yeah, it's becoming a thing.
And it's become basically the neighborhood sport.
Yeah.
Where all the neighborhood is here to see it play, and they win a game, and then that's where the board comes in, where it's just like, it's a very long, complicated board with a bunch of teams on it.
Starting that running joke of, like, for some reason, the simplest game has the most complicated playoffs in all of sports.
So this is where Squeak moves in. Mm-hmm. Then the championship,
yes,
where they're literally just called the Shirts.
Yeah.
That's their team name, the Shirts. And they just have shirts.
And I like that. And then this is the 5th championship and everything.
No, this is the first.
No, it's the 5th.
No, it's the first.
No, this was 5 years later.
Oh, 5 years later.
This is considered the 5th championship.
Well, no, because Denzelo Cup, because this is for the Denzelo... No.
No. We're still in the driveway.
So I know it's 5 years later, but is this the 5th championship? Or is this just, we're in 5 years later and we've gotten
My notes said 5th championship.
Okay.
Yeah. It is the 5th. When we're still in the driveway, it's the 5th championship. Actually, all of them are the 5th champion. I think they cut 5 years and 5 years and 5 years. Because they say that this is the driveway one where they win their first cup. The one that is, by the way, it's the same cup that they have in the beginning, and then the cup that they win in the Denzelo Cup and the actual thing. I think it's all 5 years, or at least 5 championships for the driveway game. It was 5 championships for the driveway game.
Well, no, later on, they lose when they lose to the cup. That's the fourth.
Is it the fourth? Yeah. They win the fifth of that one, so it's 4